It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. It's donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. I don't know what to make of this. It's a 31-13 victory for Notre Dame. They got to keep winning. They keep winning. They're a flawed team, but they keep winning. And you're going to ride it as long as they keep winning. But you're going to limit how excited you get because you know they're limited, but you're happy they won. There. Did I just wrap up the post-game show? Like, I don't know what else to tell you guys. Like, that's the story to me, is it's a flawed Notre Dame team. You know it's a flawed Notre Dame team. You just need them to keep winning, and then they won. And they went to this dome, and it's stupid for Georgia Tech to give up a game that could be in their little stadium on campus and go to the dome. I think that helped Notre Dame, and you end up winning 31-13. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's the name of the game to me. John, you need to cheer for Illinois. Oh, it is the first time in 30 years I've ever given a thought to what Illinois was doing today. Good for them. It's not over, I don't think, but I saw they were beating up on Michigan. Good for them. Call in line 312-988-15. Dial it up. Tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. I got to tell you, though, 917 caller is going to want to have a stern word with the guys in the ESPN booth because they kept telling Notre Dame you had to run up the score. It's amazing. You guys, it's amazing. It's amazing that the whole last week on my show, it was drama about Notre Dame running up the score, and is that the right or wrong thing to do? And then you end up in here, and all they said the whole game is Notre Dame needs to run up the score. Notre Dame needs to win. Notre Dame needs to run up the score. Notre Dame needs to run up the score the whole time. That's all they said. Listen, I'm telling you guys, ESPN is not good at this. You know, you have a Notre Dame team coming in there that isn't in the SEC. They're not in the Big Ten, and they're on ESPN. And so you got to entertain these Notre Dame storylines. And the producers are like, what are we going to go with here? This isn't one of our Big Ten or SEC teams, but we got to fill the time, talk about Notre Dame somehow. So what did they do? Literally the only thing they had in the whole thing, the whole thing was, did you know Notre Dame's not in a conference and they should probably like try and win their games by a lot? You got that 80 times. You got that graphic with the odds of them making the tournament or whatever it is. You got that a bunch of times. Like, it is what it is, you guys. Really interesting day. The defense, it's so weird to me, that defense. They give up a drive early every single week, then they tighten up. I do feel like there was some passes being caught by them where there was a lot of open space without Notre Dame guys I usually don't see. And so I want to note that there was a couple passes there where there was no Notre Dame guys around, and I'm not used to that. Is that the Morrison effect? I don't know. Special teams, I don't know what it was today, but somebody on special teams got bored and said, today's the day, and we're going for it, and we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff. And so they went for it, and they did a whole bunch of stuff. Callers, we're going to get right to you. I got a couple things to do. Number one is I got to get these super chats. I got to honor these. I see you, my main man. I see you, 765. I see you, 719. You're going to be the first few up. Oh, boy. Let's go. Let's see what we got here. $50 holler from Ryan Elliott. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. There you go, John. 50. I was going to say 0.50 cents. 50 cents for every time they mentioned the resume builder. Dude, they gave those guys their talking points, and by God, did they honor them. It was unbelievable. $10 holler from Adam Dowling. Freeman needs to stop taking the air out of the ball the second half when we get up 2 scores. It ruins everything in the offensive rhythm. Yeah, Adam, I don't know, man. We're never going to be happy. Are we fully happy? Mark with glasses. If you don't have a championship expectation, then today was fine and there's nothing to see. But if you do, this game was frustrating. Mark, that's where I end up saying Notre Dame's a very flawed team, and it's obvious. And now they're flawed and banged up and injured, but they just keep winning. And as long as they keep winning and they're in playoff position, go for the ride. But they're a flawed team, and they're just not going to look the way any of us want them to look this year. Give it up. Give it up. They're just never, this team this year's never going to look the way we want it to look. And it's just ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. So it's just not. And so that's frustrating. $5 Aller. Good showing today by the youngsters. Relaxing win minus the help of the QB. It's my main man. The main man, $10 Aller from Eric, my lawyer in Michigan. Al Golden MVP of this season. It's unbelievable. It feels like every single week they give up a frustrating drive and everybody's annoyed and mad. And we're all like, oh boy, here we go. And then they tighten up and they don't really give up that much after that. It's amazing. Every single week, that seems to be it. Al Golden's like, we're going to let you do what you're going to do. We're going to see what you want to do. And then we'll adjust and shut you down after that. George, these announcers are annoying. I wish John would just live stream so we didn't have to listen. Did you know that Notre Dame's not eligible for a conference championship? Well, if you didn't, you just learned that. Nikki Dean loves to be heard and seen. I loved all the slants and screens today. It is on my notes that it does feel like a lot of what Notre Dame tried to do in the passing game gave the guys an opportunity to make some plays after they catch the ball. Actually, there was some more action after the catch of guys having a little move and making a move. And it wasn't just a catch and you're done or tackled or out of bounds. I did enjoy that. $5 Aller. I must say I'm absolutely disgusted that Notre Dame would intercept the ball and return it for a TD. I must be beside myself. Oh, that's funny. $50 Aller from Donnie. I see you, man. I really appreciate you firing up those phone lines, baby. $5 Aller from Adam. Never a doubt, John. I bet you were completely calm all afternoon. I've been relatively calm this year most of the time. Most. $10 Aller from Eric. The white pants are terrible. Gold helmet blends better with gold pants. The gold helmet definitely blends better with gold pants. I am an old curmudgeon, but I just don't care. If you're going to win the games, I don't care really what you wear. Just don't overdo it and become Oregon. You have one of the most classic, iconic uniforms in America. Don't ruin it. $2 Aller from Mark. Now that we run fakes, do they still go to class? Look at this, 63%, in case you need that number some more. $5 Aller from the Domer. Wow. Lou's quoted as saying, use trick plays when you don't think you can beat a team straight up. Or if you're Notre Dame, you're listening to the ESPN. Then they told you had to blow somebody out. So that's what you're doing. $5 Aller from the V1 rotate. Slow starts are going to cost us against a real team that could stop the offense and score. Those slow starts it's just a thing, man. I don't know what you're going to get. It's just a thing. Look at it. Look at this. Look who's back after. What are we doing here? Look who is back.
Hey.
After a long hiatus. Pat. You broke up with the Always Irish show and you moved into the golf course. We're happy to have you.
I did move into the golf course, and it was hard to say no to such a beautiful day of golf today, but I did some family stuff today.
That's good. Pat, I don't know if you agree with me or not. We got a bank of callers we obviously want to get to and honor.
Yeah, let me just hit some stuff. I
want to ask you a couple things. Pat, what do you make of this, man? Like, do you agree with me? Notre Dame's a flawed team, and they're just never going to be what we want them to be, and you need to accept that. But they keep winning, and they're in playoff position, and I want to ride that wave. How do you feel?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is. They're definitely a flawed team, and they're a flawed injured team. Mm-hmm. Adam Dowling had a comment about Freeman taking the air out of the ball earlier. And I thought that was a good point. And Notre Dame had such good momentum in the third quarter. And I thought it was like, what? And then it's like, what happened? And it's almost like they're like, hey, let's try to score a bunch of points real quick. And they just changed it. Before, they had these 3 very long methodical drives where they picked apart the defense. They ran the ball in great situational aspects, and they were just getting chunks of yards, but taking a lot of time. And then they stopped doing that, and they started throwing the ball deep, and they went away from the short passes, and I was just, it's like, I get it. You mentioned the ESPN stuff. I get it. Like, they're
Wait,
saying,
Pat,
well,
do
it's
you
all about
agree
the
with
style
them?
points now.
Do you agree with the ESPN talking point of, like, obviously we know we're independent and we're not playing in a conference championship, but do you agree that just the 11-1 wouldn't be good enough for Notre Dame to gain entry to the field, and that they need to
No, they were
pile it
talking
on?
about that, and I didn't know.
They
I
kept
don't know what
saying
the
it,
hell they were talking
but
about.
they kept reiterating, like, 11-1 isn't good enough for Notre Dame. They really got to be impressive. Do you agree with that? A part of me thinks 11-1 Notre Dame is 11-1 Notre Dame, and it might be enough.
Well, because John, I think they didn't have anything else to talk about. The game got super
Yeah.
boring. The game was, I mean, it was a dud. I texted you in the third quarter after that running back took that shot from Bowen,
Yeah.
and he was slow to get up. And I texted you and I said, I think Georgia Tech is done, because they were getting hit like that the entire game.
Yeah.
They were just getting crushed. I mean, again, the game starts off slow. The offense is non-existent, and the defense lets you go right down the field. I outside of the Purdue game, I don't even remember the started A&M game anymore. It was so long ago. But outside of that, has Notre Dame started a game this year with a lead?
Yeah,
Like, it's
what they do.
It's incredible to see this. And again, like, I want to, like, praise Al Golden and be like, man, your adjustments are fantastic, because the second time Georgia Tech got the football, you just punched them in the mouth and they had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
But then I want to sit back and say, why can't you come out and punch them in the mouth and just set the tone on the first drive? Why do we have to wait till we see their offense? It's like he either comes in with what I wrote down. It's like the softest game plan. It's, hey, keep everything in front of you. It's like a Bob Diaco defense.
See what they're going to do, and then once
they're going to do,
let
and
them
react.
Get up there, and then shut it down.
It's like he puts bricks in their shoes, because the defense looks slow and soft, and then that second time they come out, they're whipping the shit out of them.
Yeah,
and I sit there and I'm like, why are we in this position where we do that? Why can't we just start like that?
Yeah. It's an Al Golden thing, man. It's an Al Golden thing. It's amazing. And then they just shut it down.
And they shut it down. And I thought, after watching that first drive, John, I was like, oh my God, I was hoping that with the freshmen stepping in, I was hoping that, we were going to see a really good showing. And that first drive, I was like, oh my God, this is like losing Julian Love all over again. Losing Benjamin Morrison. I was like, this is over. It's done. I was ready for Notre Dame to lose. And then they just shut them down. And now you got the schedule. You're not going to see a team that could throw the ball like this until USC. So we'll see then. So I think the schedule kind of aligns for it.
This is why we love college football. Who would have thought you would get to the back half of Notre Dame's schedule and you would be like, there's two teams ranked there, and it's got USC
and it's
Army on it, and it's
Navy.
not. It's Army and Navy.
Are you kidding me? And did you see their scores today? They were smoking people.
I think Navy had a couple pick sixes. They got a bunch of defensive scores. Okay, Jay Carr says 11-1 is in, but style points push them to a hosting seat. Pat, here's my question for you.
I don't know about that.
Who can Notre Dame beat left on the schedule by enough that it's impressive enough that the style points kick in? Is it Army, Navy, a 1-6 Florida State, or a dying USC team? How impressive is that going to be, even if you kick the crap out of them?
Like, I don't get the style points narrative, and I think that, again, I think that I didn't have a problem with them trying to score. I'm not Pat from West Palm. I'm Pat from Chicago. I didn't have a problem with them trying to score. I just didn't like how they started trying to score. If they continued to just run their offense the way it was working, they probably would have scored more touchdowns. But the last 4 minutes of that game was the sloppiest, ugliest football I've ever seen. Like, it was just weird. It got really weird. Like, you were in total control of that game, and then you're getting stuffed. You lost all imagination. You're trying to ask Leonard to force the ball, and you could tell that everything was trying to be forced instead of just what Notre Dame should have done, and probably could have easily scored 2 more touchdowns, was just lean on their run game.
Yeah.
Just lean on the run game. That team was done. They were done halfway through the third quarter. And if you just started pushing them and running downhill, you would have been fine. I mean, Payne broke 2 huge runs, and then you never go back to it. It's like, what are you doing? Just lean on. That's how Notre Dame has gotten style points, by padding their stats with big rushing touchdowns, not forcing passes 30 yards downfield into double coverage. I didn't get that.
Now, I got to bring this up, and then we'll go to the callers. Thank you guys for your patience. But I definitely wanted to get Pat in here. It's been a few weeks since he's joined us. What did you make of all of the special team stuff today, Pat? You got a good old fashioned muff to end the half, a vintage muff. You can't go wrong with the vintage muff to end the half. Yep. Okay, then you got the block. Bryce, it's good seeing the young guy get his baby paw up there and block that thing. Then you got the double end around spin-a-rooney special to love. And then you got the Buckner thing. What do you make of it? How was today the day they just planned we're going to uncork?
I mean, can we give Buckner one more game ball? Can we just do that? Did you see what happened when they were on the sideline? I think even Freeman didn't realize Buckner was in there.
Yeah, that it was him.
Because Freeman goes up to him and goes, "That was you?" At least that's what I thought he said. But even Freeman seemed he was caught off guard by it.
Yeah. Jason with the $20 holler. Hey, John, give Drake the ball game. The kid was a monster today. One of these days when I'm not so drunk, I'm going to call in. Hey, I appreciate the self-awareness, number one, and the $20 holler, number two. Feel free to give me a call sometime when you're a little less inebriated. It's Tony checking in here. A $10 holler from the Homer TD. Tony, I miss you, buddy. And it was good connecting with you earlier today before the game about the Irish, and good for Notre Dame. Pat, let's get to this first little bank of callers here. See what the people
hey, I'm not going to stick around too long. I could do a call or two, but I got some stuff to do tonight.
Let's see what we got. 765, make it come alive. What's going on? Hello, 765. Give me a call back. We'll try it again.
Hey, John, real quick.
Give me a call back, 765. We'll do my main man, Martinez, or maybe my phone line's messed up. What's going on, Martinez?
Donnie, what's up, man?
What's up? 765, Donnie, I got you. I'll get you on the next, right after my main man. What's going on, buddy? What do you make of the game, man? Notre Dame wins again. Yeah. We just keep winning, buddy.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. I know, right? I'll make it quick so he can get his phone call in. Hey, you know what? Honestly, at first, ready to have a heart attack. And just to kind of challenge some of you guys' statements as far as they start off slow. I don't think it's necessarily that the defense starts off slow. I think because our offense can't get to sit together until about the second half, the defense is on the field so damn long. I mean, they were on the field for 12 out of those 15 minutes in the first quarter. So I think that was part of it that kind of gets us to a slow start. But other than that, man, it gave a lot of these young kids, man, an opportunity to come in. Drake Bowen played good. Kingston played good. Then backup DBs, man, really started coming into their own. Coming into the third quarter and out of the second half, I think these coaches made the adjustments that they needed to. Not happy so much about still our passing game, but I'm not going to complain about that too much, man, because everything else I think gelled together the way it needed to. And as far as the adjustments and stuff, man, but I'm happy about the win, man. I'm happy about the win. I wasn't during the as I was watching it. You know what I mean? Other guys would tell you that as I was on the chat from the beginning. But, as far as all the other youngsters and everybody else gelling together, I just think I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or like what they call that shit, a negative Nancy. But the one position that we've all complained about for the last 4 years is the one that keeps holding us down. Why I think our defense seems like it's struggling, but really they're just on the field too damn long, to take a breather. But that's all I really want to say, man. I'm happy about the win. You know what I mean? Johnny, what do you got to say, buddy?
You keep winning, man. I just understand this team is very, very beat up and it's flawed, but they just keep winning, and it's 5 in a row, and you just keep winning, and there's a schedule ahead of them where every game is very winnable, and so that's where I'm at. Like, I realize the team has limitations and they're really banged up, but you just keep winning, and I'm going to ride the wave, man. They're in position to make the playoff as long as they keep winning, and it's a very reasonable schedule. So I want to go along for the ride and support the guys while I admit and understand the back of my mind they are a limited team. That's all.
Johnny, man, I love that, man. I love that. And yeah, yeah, I realize that we are banged up, but I'm really proud and happy of how these young next man in, and that's been the case. Whether we won ugly, whether we won pretty, you know what I mean. That NIU had left a lingering, bitter taste in everybody's mouth, kind of like a bad one night stand. You wake up and you're like, oh shit, what did I just do? You know what I mean? You think about it for weeks. He calls you and you're like, hey, yeah, I'll get back to you. You know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah, it's.
But you know what, Johnny, sorry, I love the win. I love, the youngsters stepping up, man. Sorry about that. And
yeah,
just looking forward for the next week coming up, man. Onward, Notre Dame. Hey man, I'll let the other guys have their piece.
There you go, man. Hey, I can always count on you, brother. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of the games, and listen, go Irish, man. It's good. It's fun to watch the games on the rest of the Saturday night after a Notre Dame victory, man. Good job.
Onward, Notre Dame. I'll talk to you later.
Have a good one, buddy. Have a good one.
Hey, Johnny.
Yeah.
Did you see? I just want to call.
I got you next, by the way. 765. I got you, Donnie. Everybody on the line right now, I could get you in. Let's go.
Did you see when ESPN they did the comparison of Leonard and the Georgia Tech quarterback?
Yeah.
They had them both up side by side, and they had their picture. I don't want to cast aspersions, but the Georgia Tech quarterback looked exactly like Riley Leonard, but in 80s porn mode.
Yeah,
that's what
like
it was straight up
mustache.
Yeah,
the grimy mustache.
I was looking at it. I was like, man, keep this guy away from my daughters.
Yeah. You know what he looks like, man? He looks like one of them like dirtball QBs. It's just so grindy and just like they look like that, and they just keep playing. Like and they keep fighting like a little half mullet and the mustache.
I was like, oh my god, this is what Riley Leonard would look like if he was an '80s porn star. That's what went through my head when they did that picture.
And if he wasn't a clean cut, clean shaven Notre Dame altar boy, that's the thing. He fits
exactly. He is the ultimate Notre Dame
quarterback. Yeah. Just there ain't even a facial hair on that thing. You know what I mean?
He looks like Ron.
He looks like Ron Powell.
He looks like Ron Powell in 1996. That's what he looks like.
Man, I'm telling you what.
That's what it is.
Hey, Ronnie's got a little beer belly. That guy's weight room. I see him walking around. He's carrying around a little belly there, Ronnie Paulus. You gotta get that cleaned up. Donnie, what's up? 765. Let's try you live. What's going on?
Hey, John, how are you, man?
I'm doing really good. I'm glad that you're here. I feel like I missed you the last couple games, and I'm glad we connected. Listen, man, really good win. I'll take the win. Who am I to complain? We're a flawed team. We're a banged up team. You go on the road and beat these guys like this. I'm not going to complain.
Hey, you're right, John. Hey, John, I want to start out first. I want to start out with a joke. You know why all the trees in Indiana lean towards it?
Why is that?
Because Michigan sucks.
That's a good one. Dude, I was just telling Pat that before the show. It is the most I've ever given a thought about U of I in like 20 years. Good for them. I'm assuming that game's over and they beat Michigan. Good for them. I love to see that. Good for U of I. First ranked win in a ranked on ranked matchup in Champaign in 24 years. I think they said it's been since there's been a ranked on ranked matchup there. Awesome. So good for them. And I love to see Michigan go down. So Donnie, that's where I'm at, man. It's a flawed team, but they keep winning and they're playing tough and they're doing the best they can with all these injuries. And I don't know what else to say, man.
Well, John, sorry, man. I'll get to it here in a second, but Pat, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, Donnie.
Hey, Pat. Hey, I want to thank you. My daughter got an email. I want to thank you for everything you did for her at the tailgate. That was awesome, and they're in communication, so I just want to thank you.
Oh, she did? Awesome. Fantastic. If she needs anything else, let me know, and I'll put in a good word.
Well, I appreciate that. So, John, sure. Pat, here's the thing. I loved the trick plays that Notre Dame did today. I liked all the fakes. Like you said, John, we're a flawed team. We're not the team we want to be. But you know what? You got to have an equalizer there. These teams watch film and stuff. Now we got to watch Notre Dame's running trick plays now, man. Oh, gosh, what do we got to watch for this? I think it's a good thing. It's a great wrinkle. I've been waiting for this for a long time. A lot of these good teams run trick plays once or twice in a game. It's no big deal. I don't think it's a big deal at all. I was glad to see it. Glad to see they're thinking outside the box because, to be honest with you, with these slow starts, whoever said it, I don't know if you said it, John, or whoever, but, when you play a good team, that's going to come back to haunt you, I think, when you get these slow starts. But I remember back when Lou Holtz had in '88, Pittsburgh, they played Pittsburgh at Notre Dame, and they went up 7-0, and they come down, or the defense come over on the sideline. And they said, this is not who we are. And they shut Pittsburgh out, and they won like 35-7 or something like that. So, that's happened in the past. This is awesome. I love watching Notre Dame. But what was Georgia Tech thinking going for 2 with that quarterback so banged up? That dude got rocked like 4 or 5 plays in a row.
Yeah.
That poor guy couldn't even hardly get up off the ground. And they go for 2? What the hell is that coach thinking about?
Yeah, that guy did get banged up. He got banged around. Tough kid though, a tough kid. So Donnie, I don't know, man. You're in a weird place, and I feel like the whole Notre Dame fandom's in a weird place where you understand that this team is just not going to be exactly what we want it to be, but they just keep winning enough to make it interesting, and they're right in the mix. And if you, Donnie, here's the thing, man. If you could beat this Navy team next week that's having a good year by Navy standards, if you beat them and get to this second bye with just the 1 loss, now I'm looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, and 11-1 is a real thing. And this is a big deal. If you could get this one more win and get into this second bye, it's a real thing about running the table since week 2. And that would be a very impressive comeback after the disappointing loss to Northern.
Yeah, and I got to give you kudos, John. All week on your shows, you were saying, man, I feel good about Notre Dame this week. I do. I feel good. And everybody was freaking out because John's feeling good about a big Notre Dame win.
I know.
But you were right on, John. You were right on. And, I felt it too. Unfortunately, I got kind of messed over by Mizzou on my parlay. But I had the Irish covering the spread. I had them covering. Because what was it on your show? I think it was on your show. Somebody said that Freeman was like 86% or something covering the spread, like a ridiculous number.
Yeah,
I think that was on your show that I heard that.
Maybe it would have been a while ago. I don't remember the number. But man, it's just good to win, Donnie. There are problems, but I just can't. It's just good to win and go on the road and get a big win like this. I don't mind being in that dome. I think that helped Notre Dame. I like what the special teams did. I like the defense locking down really after that first drive. The offense is always going to leave us wanting more. I feel like this is just it's a good day for Notre Dame, man. I wasn't sweating on the edge of my seat till the last second. That's a good day for me.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to say, John, I'll let you slide because I know you got other callers. But it was good to see the Notre Dame receivers getting yards after catch.
Yes.
That's something we have not seen in a long time. 3rd and 5, throw it to the tight end.
Yep.
They get 2 or 3 yards and they go down. It was awesome to see those guys, get some extra yards. And
it was on my list, Donnie.
Receiver room's coming.
That was on my list in my little notepad. It feels like we're throwing balls today to where the guys that catch it have options after they catch it, either to make a move, a nifty move, or to run. They're leading them with space in front of them to catch it and run. I felt like there was a lot more run and catch possibilities today. And I did, while the offense is still limited in certain ways, I really appreciated that. And it was on my notes, and I want them to grow on that. And it's something we've all been asking for this whole year. We've been asking for that. We've been saying, give these guys the ball with the chance to do something after it. And we have really good athletes that are capable. So I'm really proud of that. Good job. Yeah. Good job.
Yeah. Here we are. So, John, I'm going to let you slide, and I want to thank you for, lighting the candle at the grotto. I've been, with my sister passing, it was a little tough, and
Yep.
that's why I missed a few weeks there. But
totally, Donnie, totally understandable. But it did cross my mind. I'm like, I hope he's okay. I haven't seen you in a while. And it turns out that there was something going on. But just know, I don't know if it helps or not, but we got you a candle lit for your family at the grotto and honor your sister. Okay.
I appreciate that, John. Thank you very much, and go Irish.
No problem. Go Irish. Donnie, take care, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. What a nice guy. He's at all the events, all the tailgates. I actually met him at the Sam Hartman autograph signings where I first met Donnie, and I'm glad I did. Okay, the $20 holler from Adam Dowling. By the way, thanks for the steak the other week, Adam. I really do appreciate that. You're a heck of a guy. John, started?
He was. Go
what?
ahead. Well, he was no short of sending me a picture of that, saying, "Hey, why aren't you here?" And I was like, "Yeah, why aren't I there?" And then he goes, "Blame John."
Why didn't he invite you? It's his. He owns the White House. What? Adam and Tiffany at Pat. Adam's the one who goes, we know all the managers there on a Friday night. Let me know. We'll get a seat, whatever. Let's blame Adam. He's the one that says, we could sit inside. We could sit outside. I own the place, whatever. So let's get it going. Going.
He's like me at the golf course.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, he's wheeling and dealing. Slide that 20 there, to get the front thing. You know what it made me think of in the Goodfellas where they're going the back door of the club and they pull that table out and put it right in front. Yeah. And it's and then you feel special.
Ray Liotta walks through, gives everyone a $20 bill.
Yeah, and you didn't even know that table existed till they whipped it out for that guy. But Adam says, who started the rumor about Jay Love that wasn't true? You guys, 20 minutes before the game, I got a million texts saying, Julian Love's not out there warming up. He must be out. He was not on the injury report that they have to put out. He was not on it. And people are messaging me saying he isn't out there and it looks like he's not playing. And then the next thing you know, he was out there and he was playing. Makes me think maybe he had to go number 3 and he was late getting out there or something. Didn't run out with the team because he had to go number 3. I don't know. But he was out there. So I have no idea.
Yeah, he appeared to be fine and he played fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fine. You know what? I see a lot of comments about Drake Bowen and I think he did have a hell of a football game. I mean, all those linebackers played really good and they were hitting really freaking hard. I mean, they were hitting hard. That's why I said Georgia Tech, they look like to me, they quit halfway through the third quarter because they're just tired of getting beat up.
Here's the other thing with that. You're talking about these linebackers and they're hitting and all this stuff.
And when's the best time to have them start playing like that?
Next week. That's
it.
Week. That's exactly it, Pat. This is why you're the guy on the other end of this, because you know that I'm thinking about what's coming, and that you have to be sound and you have to know your lanes and know your keys and stay in your. And you got to wrap up.
That's
and you got to stick.
That's the only thing that scares me. Like Bowen's not real new. KVA, he's new, so I don't know how well adjusted he is to it's playing the option is such assignment football.
Yeah,
but I think our defensive line, if they could stay healthy in that game, is strong enough and stout enough to tie up 5 offensive linemen, and then those linebackers can do some freaking damage. And if you punch Navy in the mouth early and you make their fullback know we're going to hit you harder than you hit us, it's a very different football game than what it's a very, very different football game than what it could be.
Yep. This is a really, really, I don't want to make it about this. I want to enjoy this one and worry about it tomorrow. This is going to be kind of an anxiety provoking week for Notre Dame. This Navy thing is going to be a situation and we're going to be, there's going to be some anxiety. Okay, here's what I need to do. This is good radio. I got to blow my nose. I still got that sinus thing. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds.
You go take care of that.
We're going 815's coming back. Tony's coming back. Connor, I want to get you a 719, a couple 949s. You're all coming up. Give me 2 seconds.
All right, go blow your nose, John. Go blow your nose.
It's good radio, Pat.
Yeah. Well, I'm here, John. I could talk to people. Don't worry. Are you just going to keep yelling from the other room?
Yeah. I'm already back. Give me a break. I'm not blowing my schnoz on the air. Nobody needs to see that.
Omar said you're doing a line. Hey, John, you got something right here.
Omar. Come on now, Omar. You guys are making me seem guilty. I didn't do a line of nothing. 815, make it come alive. Frabble, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. How are you doing?
I'm telling you, I want to know if you agree with my overall takeaway. I feel like Notre Dame's a flawed team. They're a beat-up team, and they just keep winning, and they're doing enough to keep you really invested because they're playing hard, and they keep winning. That's where I'm at with all this, man. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. But I will say, I've seen some people say, especially at the last 2 weeks, Notre Dame is not a playoff caliber team. I kind of disagree with that, not because I don't agree. I don't think that we're flawed. I think we're very flawed, especially in the passing game. The short passing game has really picked up.
Yep.
The deep passing game has not. But if you look around college football this year, I don't really know if there is a team besides maybe Texas and Oregon that aren't flawed. And I think that benefits Notre Dame because most years it kind of hasn't been like that. There's usually 4 teams that are cut above the rest. This year, I think it's so wide open. You've got teams losing to teams that they have no business losing to.
Yeah.
Teams with dog fights of games that they have no business being in dog fights. I mean, A&M, I don't know if you probably haven't paid attention, but A&M was in a dog fight with Mississippi State tonight.
Yep. And they ended up, I think they ended up,
it's a weird year.
34-24 A&M right now. LSU's up 7-0 on Arkansas. And Alabama 17, Tennessee 21 with under 2 minutes left. Again, this is probably delayed because it's on ESPN.
Alabama's got a 4th and 22. They just had a personal foul call on their wide receiver.
Interesting.
He punched a Tennessee player in the head.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem. So I don't know. I don't want to overdo this win. I don't want to underdo this win. You go on the road and you won the game and you did what you needed to do. And I don't know. Just keep winning. I don't know what else to say. Just keep winning. I don't know what the ceiling is for this team, but I want to find out. So you just need to keep winning to be in that position. That's the way I'm looking at this.
Yeah, at this point, that's all that matters. You won your sole big game of the year, week 1. We got it out of the way, and we talked about this back then, John. After you got that win, the goal was to just keep winning. Now you set yourself back with the NIU loss, and I think they were overselling a lot during the TV broadcast that Notre Dame might get left out at 11-1.
I want to ask you.
Never going to happen.
I wanted to ask you that. I'm asking everybody this because I don't know the realities, and maybe I'm wrong. Do you agree? Do you think Notre Dame needs not just 11-1, but 11-1 with a lot of style? Do you believe that they need to start blowing out all these teams, or do you think 11-1 is going to be good enough for Notre Dame?
I think, and I'm not saying this is necessarily right, but I think just the money and the brand of Notre Dame itself, an 11-1 Notre Dame team in a 12-team playoff never will get left out. I think if you want a shot at hosting a first-round game, then in that case, you need to blow everybody out on the schedule.
See, that's interesting. I was wondering if you were going to go there with the nuance of, 11-1 will get you in, but if you want to really pile it on people, the last handful of games, then you could make some moves. Now, the other thing to consider is you got 2 of these academies coming. I don't even know. It's hard to blow out the academies sometimes because of the way they like to play. So I think that's very interesting, but I'm just more worried about getting off the field against Navy's offense and doing all that. Like, if you could get into that second bye with just the 1 loss after Navy, now you're cooking. That's where that 11-1 is like really looking at the like light at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah, and you know what kind of scares me, especially I've thought about it more since BMO went down. When you play the service academies, a big thing that we've seen in recent years with Notre Dame when they play Navy or Army is it helps to have experienced guys on the back end because, and especially now that Navy throws the ball. I mean, I believe Navy's averaging just a little bit under 200 yards passing per game, which is more than Notre Dame, by the way, which is wild to say. But, yeah, I mean, that's where I'm kind of scared a little bit because while I trust Leonard Moore and Christian Gray, they have never faced the triple option team. Neither has Schuler. You can't make a mistake against a triple option team because then they'll just beat you deep. So that's where I'm starting to really worry about Navy and Army on the schedule just because of the pure youth that we have on this team.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I did like seeing the linebackers play a little better today because that's going to be a big part of defending Navy and defending the option and all the stuff you got to do. It's going to take a really good effort next week just because they shorten the game. And I don't want to make this about Navy, but they shorten the game. You're not able to go 3 and out a few times. And like you're going to have to put together a really good game next week and be on your stuff.
Oh, yeah. And another thing, and we were just talking about this in my space earlier today. Notre Dame with these slow starts in the first half offensively in games, you can't do that against Navy or Army because you already have limited possession.
Exactly. And so you punt it to them. They go 9 minutes, 14 plays. There goes the whole first quarter. You're down 7-0. That's how they shorten the game, and you end up frustrated, pulling your hair out. I've been there a million times.
Yeah, and that's where I'm kind of like, I hate it. I know that Denbrock tries to catch teams off guard, but I don't know if you picked up on it, but first drive tonight was, I believe, pass. That's not our identity. That's not who we are. Riley throws a pick the next drive. I hate, and I get it, you want to prove and work on the passing game, but it's 6-7 games into the season. You know who you are, and throwing the deep ball is not who Notre Dame is. You're going to get yourself beat against competent opponents if you try to be something you're not. And I think that's why we were struggling so much in the first half is because we try to get cute. We try to act like we're LSU and we have Jaden Daniels back there, and we just don't.
That's really interesting because you want to, you want to keep getting better and trying to get better at it. And you can't avoid it altogether, but I do understand what you're saying. And maybe it's a better, more efficient path if you just leaned into that intermediate and short passing game that they were doing pretty good today and put it in your athletes' hands and then let them do something. Maybe that's more effective. But I think I get why they're trying to do more of it to keep teams honest. But I like that intermediate short passing game where they're getting into our guys and letting the athletes make moves. I like that.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I wanted to get your thoughts. What did you think about the fake punt and the fake field goal? Because the fake punt was okay, but the fake field goal I thought was not that I didn't love it. I loved it. Loved the aggressiveness, but it's kind of don't you want to save those looks
for something else?
A game that's not already won.
Yeah, I thought that too. I don't know if this was the plan all along or if they just found themselves in yardages or parts of the field where it made sense to do it. I thought that as well. But it worked. You got both of the tricks worked, and then you got the young freshman getting a block. Good special teams day.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing for special teams, is it official that Mitch Jeter is not going to be kicking field goals for us soon? Because I can't find anything about it. I know that.
I don't know. They said he's injured. I don't know. They said he's injured.
Said he was active.
I don't know.
He was active today.
I thought they were.
No, he's hurt. They said he was hurt.
I thought the idea was that he was hurt. So I don't know.
I don't know what the injury is, but they said he's hurt.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay.
So
it was a weird today with the injury report and all those rumors and stuff.
Yeah, it was really weird. I don't know, man. And so here's what we're gonna do. I think we're entitled to enjoy this win the rest of the weekend, and then I think when we get into this week, it's gonna get real serious about how you're gonna have to play Navy. And we talk about it every year, and I go over it every year, how I don't like how they shorten the game, and you got to be more precise, blah, 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 blah. We're going to have that whole stress thing, and they're going to get built up because they're undefeated, and this is going to be a big thing. This is a big week coming up for Notre Dame. Good win today. Anything on the way out, man? Thanks for the call.
Yeah, I just, like I said, man, I'm worried about Navy. I agree. I hate it. I hate playing them, too, because they do that. The back end is going to have to work on some things. I know that they worked on it on the bye week. So hopefully that, shows. But another thing, I'll be honest, if we win the coin toss against Navy, I would prefer to kick the ball than get it first, just because of how they like to play. I've been kind of confused by Freeman the last, 5 games or so has been, we want the ball, because I've always thought it's better to kick, but Yeah, I think especially against Navy, you're going to want to have ball at half, especially with them chewing the clock. But yeah, like I said, like you said, you get to enjoy this win. It is Georgia Tech. We handled business. We went on the road. We not only covered, but we almost doubled the spread. We're coming back to South Bend with a W, so that's always good.
There you go, man. It's a beautiful thing whenever Notre Dame wins, and I appreciate you calling, and thanks for the donation, man. Give me a call again maybe during the week. Let's talk some Navy Notre Dame.
All right, man. Sounds good, John.
See you, buddy. Go Irish. Yep, take care. So is it official that Alabama lost, Pat?
Yeah, Tennessee just picked Milroe off, so it looked on the first down. They picked him off, so they just got a kneel on it. It's over.
So, okay, here's the question that everybody's asking is where does Alabama drop in the polls now that they have a couple losses?
Here's the interesting thing about it.
Callers, hold on. Callers, I'm coming right back to you. If you're on the air, if you're here, I'm going to be able to get you. 719, you're coming up next. You've been waiting a while. I got you.
Yeah, so Alabama is ranked 7th. And they're lighting their cigars. Damn, I wish I was there. And Tennessee is ranked 11th. So in Notre Dame perspective, you would have preferred Bama to win, but because I can see Alabama losing to a team that is better ranked than Notre Dame, having a better rank than Notre Dame, falling one spot ahead of Notre Dame right now. I'm not talking about the playoff committee. I don't think the playoff committee cares what the USA Today or the AP have.
Totally separate. Yeah. Unrelated
totally
exercise.
Separate.
Yep.
Totally separate. Yep. But I'm just saying, I could see the coaches poll and the AP turn around and saying Notre Dame is 11 and 10, or Alabama is 10. But most likely, I do think Alabama will drop behind Notre Dame.
Interesting. Jason here, $20 holler. Hey, John, give Drake the game ball. Kid's a monster yet, playing really good. A couple more chats, and then we'll go right back to the calls. We'll see what you guys think here. $20 holler. Never give up, never give in. Let's get the natty 469. Hey, I mean, you're still in it to win it. 719. He's been waiting a long time, and then I'll get everybody else. And 469. Of course, you donated. We'll bring you up as well. Lickety split too. I won't make you wait that long. 719, you're on the line. What's going on?
Hey, John. Super stoked about the win. I feel like we handled things. Didn't start off great, but I also feel like that's how our coordinators work. And I'd rather have them work with getting information and dealing with it as compared to, one track Tommy, where we just ran the game plan the whole game, whether it worked or not.
It's an interesting angle of like, this is what we're running, and be damn whether it works or not, we're jamming it in, and this is what we're going to do. Like that kind of thing.
Right?
Go ahead, Pat.
We did so often.
Go ahead, Pat.
The only thing I want to say to that is I just don't feel like they're coming into the game prepared. Like, that's my only thing. I feel like the defense comes in soft. They play soft. And then as soon as they see something, they completely adjust. Well, you have tape. You have film. You should know what to expect. It's not the first game of the season. It's the 7th game of the season. You have film on these teams. You shouldn't be coming in playing soft on the first drive of the game. You should be right up in their face, because that's what they did. And honestly, it makes me feel like they come in, they play zone defense in the first series, and then they go man-to-man and they shut them down. And it boggles my mind why it starts like that.
That is an Al Golden thing that he's known for, is playing a very vanilla, basic defense that first drive, trying to get a feel of what's going on, not taking any chances, very basic, and then tightening it up. But they do a good job tightening it up after they give up something early in the game. And it's like, you keep worrying one of these games, we're not going to be able to come back from it, or it's going to be too much or whatever. They keep coming back. Do you guys feel like, caller, do you feel like you could tell Morrison wasn't there? Like there was some more passes caught in the secondary without Notre Dame guys around him than you're used to? Like, did you feel like that was like something you noticed, or what?
I mean, to a degree, but I feel like, Leonard Moore stepped up. And I think to a bigger discussion, and I feel like maybe I'll call in on Monday about it, but I feel like we're seeing the fruits of Marcus's recruiting.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe we don't have all the 5 stars and we're not number 1 or number 3, like the top 5, but I feel like they're good at finding talent. I mean, Benny Moe wasn't, he was a 3-star coming out of high school, but they saw what they wanted in him. And I feel like that is showing itself now with all these injuries, and everybody worries. And in the past, we get an injury and we were like, well, the next guy's up, we can't play him. He's a freshman. There's no way Kelly wouldn't do it. And so it was the next RKG up, you know what I mean? And yeah, we had a talent here or there, but now we're seeing it across the board. You know what I mean? These kids stepping up, and yeah, they're going to make some mistakes, but I feel like Moore definitely tightened it up as the game went on and made some good plays, And so I feel kind of like fortunate that, and even in the broadcast, as much as I didn't agree with them, they were like, they're deep, with talent. And we are, some of it's young talent, but they sure came out. And I mean, Bowen showed it. I mean, Young showing it. These kids are coming in and not just filling and stabilizing a spot. They're like exceeding.
It's a good point. There's one thing to be like, okay, it's serviceable. This guy could get in there and hold his own or whatever. These guys are actually making plays. And they play with a little confidence and an attitude that I like. The younger guys on this team, they really do play with a different kind of energy that I appreciate. And they don't play with any fear. They don't play with any, we're young and we're scared. Like, there is none of that. And so I am impressed with some of those younger guys and the effort they're putting in so far. And it is a testament to the depth that Notre Dame's so banged up and they just keep winning and they haven't dropped another game. I do wonder late at night, I sit there and worry, is it going to catch up with us at some point? But you just keep checking weeks off the calendar with wins and you're good to go.
Exactly. I mean, everybody's worried about, where are we going to be? We just need to win our games. And I also, it seems as though as the season has gone on, and it seems like this every year, everybody complains, we should blow these guys up. They're no good. I think this day and age, especially this year in college football, the parity is showing up. Like, these teams are getting kids from an Alabama and a Georgia who just are like, I'm not going to play here. I'm going to go somewhere else. And they're still talented. They were talented enough to get accepted at these big schools.
Yeah, I think there is. I think it's some of that. And then I think, especially with the Big Ten and the SEC, them doing away with the divisions and having more of a round robin, I think you're getting a more balanced. Absolutely. I think you're getting a more balanced schedule in the Big Ten and the SEC now, where nobody's able to hide in a weak division anymore and like just own it and skate like most weeks of the year. I think you're seeing a lot of that. The other thing with especially the Big Ten now is the travel. The travel matters. Nobody wants to hear it. That's Notre Dame's existence forever. But all this West Coast travel, the East Coast travel and all that, that's going to be catch up to people as well and be a pain to deal with. So I feel like there's just a lot of changes in college football. And if Notre Dame can find a way to get through next week into the second bye, the lights at the end of the tunnel for 11-1, and we see where the dice, how the dice sit when we roll them in the alley, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I'll let you go. Love the win. Happy about it. I should be sleeping because I work tonight, but can't miss a game. So have a good one. I'll talk to you on Monday.
Thanks for the call, man.
Thanks more thoughts.
Oh yeah, I really appreciate the call. Crystal clear phone lines. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Give me a call during the week. Have a good one. We're a nice caller. Would you say Arkansas fumbled? That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Kelly's been begging for a loss, and he just keeps winning.
So here's the thing. Everybody's freaking out about this. Like, oh my God, what, Alabama's not out, all this stuff. They all still have to play each other. LSU has to play Alabama. Texas A&M is in there. Georgia. Like, there's only 2 teams right now or 3 teams Notre Dame fans should be cheering for. Notre Dame, 4. Let me put it this way: 4. Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Texas, and Oregon. You want them to beat everybody. You want those 4 teams to beat everyone they play. Because if that's what happens, those Texas and Oregon will eliminate the SEC and the Big Ten. At least they'll eliminate the 2 lost teams from contention. And Texas A&M just adds to the Notre Dame resume. So if those 4 teams win, I could see Notre Dame still as a 5 seed, honestly. One loss Notre Dame. I don't want to hear, oh, Bama, they only lost they lost to Vanderbilt, and then they just lost to Tennessee, and Tennessee's begging for another loss. Like, those conferences there's too many decent teams in those conferences. I'm not sure how good these teams really are. I think there's more parity now than ever, but there are too many good teams in these conferences.
Yeah, it's interesting. 469, feel free to call back. I see you come and go. You threw in 20. I want to make sure I honor that. 386, you're in the mix. What's going on?
What's up, John and Pat? How you guys doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Good. Anytime Notre Dame wins, it's a good day for me. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna enjoy it, and then I'm gonna start worrying about Navy sometime tomorrow. That's my plan. What do you think?
Well, you're spot on, John. And I've been saying since Northern Illinois, it's play by play and game by game. And what have we done since then?
Yeah,
it's been play by play and game by game.
Yeah. That's our existence.
And you're in.
That's
you win and you're in.
Yeah, that's our existence right now. And I just don't think we're entitled to expect much more than that. I just feel like that's kind of our existence, and that's where we're at. And the injuries are limitations on this team, and the offense leaves a lot to be desired. But damn it, they're hanging in there, and they just keep winning. So just keep doing that.
That's the thing. That's college football right now. And I talked to you before the season started, and I want to bring this up right now. I said it months ago. College football has changed dramatically in the past couple of years, right? Well, we're seeing a lot more teams in big games. We're seeing it right now, Texas and Georgia right now. How many teams have we seen lose already? Alabama, they just got their second loss. This is college football now. There's bigger games. You have to win. There's better competition and better matchups. It's college football. We've talked about it. We have said this. This is Notre Dame. You win and you're in.
Yeah, it's man, it's just you put yourself in such a bad position after what you did week 2. And it's just like you could always afford one loss in my mind if you were Notre Dame this year. It just couldn't be that one. Like, you could have one loss and be fine. It just couldn't be in week 2 and to that team.
You're right.
And and then you have all those injuries that started piling up, and then it just backs us into a corner to where there's no luxury here. It is every week is a battle. And that's just kind of what this year, that's just what this year's going to be. And it's a little uncomfortable, and it's not ideal. And you never turn on a Notre Dame game with full confidence they're going to kick the crap out of somebody ready, because you don't know what you're going to get. You're right. It's just a week to week, game to game, series to series grind. That's just what we're going to be this year.
Yes.
It's what it is.
Yes, dude. Yes. Because how many people were confident that after losing to NIU, and I think about that game too, but I'm trying to move past it as much as I can, and that's what I feel like our team has done at the same time.
Yeah.
We look back to it, and yes, a horrible loss, but at the same time, we could have lost again another game. We could have had 2 losses by now.
Yep.
We could have. We haven't. We've found a way to win. We have found a way to improve, yet there are things to improve on. That's college football. We have big teams that have been in the top 15 recently in the past couple weeks that have lost again. They have 2 losses. Michigan. Oh, you want me to talk about Michigan right now? Oh, John, you want me to get fired up? Sayonara. It's hard to play football when you don't know the play coming. It's hard, right, John?
It is.
You put this on the script. It's hard to play football when you don't know the play coming.
I know.
Sayonara, Michigan. Get the heck out of here.
Isn't it a little weird looking at how they performed all the games in the years leading up to Connor Stallions, his record while he was there, and then what's happened the second he leaves? It's really interesting to me.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Yeah. Somebody's saying USC lost. I thought they were winning by a lot. They were winning by like 2 scores. They lost again.
29-28.
No.
29-28. Oh my God. They were winning by 2 scores when I looked earlier. Oh my God, they're falling apart.
I've had that game off for hours now. I thought they won.
They were up 2 touchdowns when I looked. Oh my, Maryland. What is going on, dude? Florida State Florida State and USC, dude, Notre Dame cannot lose to these teams. You know how embarrassing it'd be?
He's
Holy
gonna
crap.
he's gonna get to Lane Kiffin.
College football, John. This is college football.
I
And
cannot
shout out to Turtle.
believe
He's
it.
right next to me. I'm representing 386 right now. We're in Florida. I got Turtle next to me. This is my dad. We're diehard Irish fans. This is Notre Dame. We're coming for it. And you better be prepared.
What's up? What's up, John boy?
Represent us in Florida. I love it. You guys got to represent us down there in ACC and SEC land. Represent us Irish proud down there.
We're here. We're here. We're in it. This is ND Nation. I love y'all. I love you, John. This is what we do. This is Notre Dame football.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words, and we just keep winning, baby. That's all you got to do. Notre Dame, just keep winning these games. It don't have to be that pretty all the time. Just keep winning them, and we're going to be just fine. So good. I got a lot of
play by play, game by game.
That's it. That's where we're at this year. And the guys are out there playing hard, and we're just check off weeks and wins, and that's all you got to do. Just keep checking off weeks and wins. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, man. Dude, I love you. I love Notre Dame football. I love all this family. Like this, what you've created is huge, man. And
I appreciate that.
People got to respect it. And we haven't been to a tailgate yet, but we're going to get there. Trials and tribulations. Life throws curveballs at you, dealing with hurricanes, whatever. But, just respect to you. We love you. We love Notre Dame. And that's Irish Nation, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And we'll pick a game for next year, and maybe you guys can make it to that tailgate, and then we do the blue and gold one. But the weather's so iffy. I understand if people don't want to travel from out of state and maybe be in the snow or the sleet or the rain or whatever else we run into in that parking lot. So I don't know, you guys. I'm feeling good though, man. Anytime Notre Dame wins, it's a good week, and I hope you guys are able to sit back, watch the other games, enjoy some NFL tomorrow, and we beat Navy next week. What do you say?
Dude, that's what we're going to do. It's onward to victories. It's been that way since week 2. We don't look in the past. We're looking at the future, and this is a hard team to beat, Notre Dame is. So buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to play some football.
There we go. Let's get it. Hey, thanks a lot, you guys. And thanks for the call, as always, and for always being here. And hold us down loud and proud in Florida. Thanks, guys.
Go Irish.
Go Irish. Have a good one.
Dude, John, I think Lincoln Riley's going to get fired.
Man, is it that? Is it that? That is
3-4.
Man,
He's
that's
3-4 at USC with his so-called pedigree. I mean, he'll be lucky to be 6-6.
Man, that's rough. What is his contract? Does anybody know how long that initial contract of his was? Like,
it's probably the same as Marcus.
It's a different situation than like Norvell at Florida State, who went 13-1 and got that, or 13-0 or whatever, and got the extension. He got like an 8-year extension, and now they can't win a game. This is different because he's on his initial deal. Lincoln Riley is. Tony, what's going on, buddy? Notre Dame wins. It's a good time. 949-574. You're the next two up. Tony, it's been a while. Good to talk to you.
Hi, John. Hi, Pat.
It's Tony. It's just good to be with you, buddy. It was good seeing you a few weeks ago. And you know what, man? Notre Dame just keeps winning. We check weeks off the calendar. We keep winning, buddy.
Yeah, and, I haven't talked to you for a while, and I appreciate your text. And I was at all the home games so far this year, and next week I'm going back to Pennsylvania, getting on a bus and going to the Navy game. But I'm in Pennsylvania this weekend for my 50th high school class reunion, and that's been a lot of fun. But I just want to say this game was really a big game for Notre Dame, and I say that and you'll understand this, John, from a personal standpoint. This was really a big win for them.
Yeah.
And,
yep.
It was a good win. I'm happy for the team, and I'm happy for the fans.
Yep, I think it's just we find a way, just because of the way this year is shaped up, to where every single game ends up being a live or die situation. It's really that serious for Notre Dame right now, and with our goals, and you're all beat up, and you have the injuries. Like, all you could ask is that these guys just fight their way to wins, and they're starting to do that. And it's a joy, man. If they could get by Navy and hit that second bye, the lights at the end of the tunnel for 11-1. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if you could escape into that second bye with just the one loss, it is teed up for you to have a really interesting November and end of the year.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. And I find it very interesting that listening to you this week about the many of the callers, and even you a little bit said, there's really not a whole lot of pizzazz about the season so far, and I understand that. Losing that Northern Illinois game was just such a downer, but this team has proven that they haven't given up, they haven't been lost, and the staff's doing a good job of keeping them focused, and that's all we can ask, John.
That is really all we could ask. And I do want to give credit. There's you learn things about your team, and each year has its own flavor within your program and feel to it and personality. Kind of, this is one of needed depth. And the one thing I do want to say I'm impressed with is a lot of the depth pieces and youth that Notre Dame has been forced to turn to due to injury are starting to really play well and have confidence and do a really good job, more than just like a body that could fill and take snaps. These guys are playing good football, and I'm really happy for those depth and younger players that are playing with confidence.
Yeah, and we talked about that all through the offseason about the depth that's been building. And, I'm not a historian of Notre Dame, but I think it's truly paying off. And people got to consider that also.
Yeah, it's you're learning. There's a lot of high quality athletes in depth on this team, and it's frustrating that you need to use it before you're ready with a lot of these young guys, maybe. But they're doing a really good job, and they're trying to hang in there, and that's all I could ask for.
Yep, and that's all I got, John. I just want to say it was a great win, and I'll let you know that was a really big win from what I know.
Yeah.
But onward we go, and I'll be over in the Meadowlands next week rooting them on. But that'll be the last game I attend this year.
Oh,
so,
come on, Tony! I want you to do, I want you to do. I call it the Rockney round trip, Tony. I want you to be in New York for Army, and then go all the way to the West Coast to the Coliseum for USC. That's what I want you to do the rest of this year. I call it the Rockney, do the original Rockney trip. Board a train and go all the way from New York and Army all the way to the Coliseum.
Well, I understand the history of that, but there's no way in hell I'm going to the Bronx and sitting in the Yankee Stadium. I don't like the Yankees. I never will like the Yankees, and I don't want to sit in that freaking stadium. And I've been to many stadiums throughout the country, but that ain't one of them I'm going.
Good for you.
To see
Good
Notre
for
Dame
you.
play football.
Good for you, Tony. Draw a line there. Good for you, man. Hey, it's really nice touching base with you, Tony. Good to hear your voice, buddy. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Johnny.
Oh, have a good one. Look at Always Irish Senior here. Go Irish, John. This is one hell of a party. Have a great show. Pat, my cousin is getting married in the Hamptons, and the girl he's marrying is the daughter of one of the heads of the PGA Tour. There's a bunch of professional golfers at this wedding. Jay Monahan is at the wedding. Like all of the big shots in the PGA Tour are at this wedding, and it's in the Hamptons somewhere at some country club or something. And my parents are out there having a good time, and apparently it's a fun party. But my dad still logged in here, so
you didn't get an invite.
I did get an invite, but what do you think I said? I got football obligations. Not going to no wedding. Who you want me to go to a wedding in New York? I got Notre Dame.
You got professional golfers there, and you're talking to me?
Yeah.
You're talking to me?
Dude, my mom said the same thing, and I'm like, Mom, what exactly do you think I'm going to get out of sitting at a table being a poor dork, being like, look at that rich golfer? What do I get out of that? Oh, I wish I was a rich golfer like him and good at golf. What do I get out of seeing a bunch of good golfers that are rich in New York? What do I get out of that?
You could have walked around and be like, hey, I'm a 6 handicap.
They know better. And think about it. Those guys don't want to, they don't care about anything. But it's just my mom was like, all these pro golfers. Well, what am I going to do? Go up to him and be like, I'm poor and I'm not as good as golf as you. Can you autograph something? Like, what do I get out of seeing those guys at the wedding? I don't understand. Anyways, I'm glad my dad's having fun.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
4-6.
Texas just picked off Georgia.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying I don't get a lot out of seeing golfers sitting at a wedding and being like, there's a golfer. It just doesn't do much for me.
Wedding talk. What happened?
469, you're on the line. What's going on? 949-574-949 coming up. What's going on, 469?
Hey, John. What a great win.
Telling you, man. Yeah, you just keep checking off wins, man. I'm not going to complain, man. I'm not going to complain. You needed wins. You got wins. I didn't have to sweat it out to the last minute. Good week in Notre Dame land in my world.
You know, I'm going to tell you something. I know a lot of fans, we're used to an environment where you have an Alabama or an LSU or a Georgia, any number of teams that it's like, that's clearly the best team in the country. And then you just have like everybody else. There isn't that team this year. Maybe Texas, possibly. But we'll see tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting.
In my personal opinion, I think every single team out there is beatable. And Notre Dame, with its defense, is capable of beating any of the teams out there. And what you've seen over the last few games, their offense is really pretty decent. And it's not just simply that the offense is enabled by the defense. No, they showed they can go on extended drives and really put a pressure on another team's defense. If you don't play assignment sound football, Riley Leonard is going to eat you up.
Yeah, don't you feel like do you feel this? He finally looks and feels to me like he's starting to become more comfortable running this offense. He looks much more comfortable with like RPOs and making decisions on when to keep it and when to pull it. More comfortable distributing the ball. It just feels like it took a while for that to come along, maybe because he was delayed with injury in spring or whatever. Then the offensive line stuff didn't help. I finally feel like Riley Leonard, I can see him gaining confidence within the offense. Do you feel that a little bit? It's not where I want it to be. Everybody chill out. The passing game's never going to be what we want it to be. We all know that. But for what we're working with, I feel like I'm seeing Riley Leonard gain comfort.
Yes, the first part of the question, absolutely. He's looking comfortable. He's you can see the type of offense that Mike Denbrock wants to run. It's kind of it's a little bit of a like a spread, almost like a West Coast offense kind of thing, where it's a lot of short to intermediate passing and using passing sometimes as an extension of the running game.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, and when you have you have the athletes we have, that's a great thing to do, man. Get the ball to Price and Love and let them make some moves.
I tell you what, a player that Jeremiah Love reminds me of is Marshall Faulk.
Oh, that's
Get
a good
that
one.
dude in space and let him cook. Because you've seen when he gets one-on-one, he's not going to be tackled. He's breaking that first tackle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And so I don't know. I just feel like I'm seeing a little more comfort there. And that does give me some confidence moving forward. You just got to keep winning, man. It doesn't have to be the prettiest thing. I know ESPN was talking about pretty points and you need to blow everybody out. Like the first priority here is 11-1, and you just need to keep winning. And you put yourself up against the wall and behind the 8 ball week 2. You can't be picky. You just got to keep winning.
They made mention of something that I thought was kind of a little clunky. They're like, well, if there's a situation where you're comparing Notre Dame with an SEC team, if Notre Dame loses another game, they're in that situation where they're being compared with another with a 2-loss SEC team as far as which one gets in. That's a very possible scenario. But if they went out, Notre Dame isn't being compared with anybody from the SEC. It maybe as far as the seed line, are they 7? Are they 8? Are they 6? Or you know what I mean? As far as where they fit on that seed line. But if Notre Dame wins out, they are unequivocally, undoubtedly. Don't tell me I'm wrong. They're a first round bye. I mean, not a first round bye. They're a first round hosting a playoff game.
So you think I am not as sure of that. Like that is up for debate to me. I think 11-1 and Notre Dame's in for sure. I am not certain that puts them in a hosting seed. I believe the lowest would be 8 is the lowest hosting seed. I am not sure of that.
It is. Yeah, it's 5 through 8 are the hosts. The reason why is because when you look at the best teams of the conferences are all gonna be all going to be ranked 1 through 4 as far as the top teams from each conference.
Right.
So that takes care of most of the teams with which Notre Dame would be compared. The remaining teams with which Notre Dame would be compared, most of them are going to have 2 losses. I don't care how people feel about this team. We're always the most critical of the team we follow closely. You look at Georgia fans, they are just livid. They feel like Georgia's one of the worst teams in America right now because they're most closely tied to that team. So as Notre Dame fans, we're most critical of Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
We're so intimately familiar with the things that are going right and especially the things that are going wrong.
I think that's fair.
I tell you, with one loss, and especially the loss was so early in the season, by the time the final playoff rankings come out, there will be plenty of games and plenty of decent teams that Notre Dame will have beaten if they are 11-1. You're talking about unbeaten Navy, unbeaten Army. Both of those teams are likely going to be unbeaten by the time Notre Dame plays them. To have both of those teams on your schedule and you have wins over both of those teams, that's a pretty solid resume, you know? And then you throw in at the end of the year going on the road against USC. I mean, that may not be much of a game. By that time, USC may be a shell of itself. Who knows what you're going to have there. But you're going to have key wins against teams that have recognizable names, you know? It's not like you've got a resume full of, who the hell is that?
Here's what I would prefer, though. What I would strongly prefer is that Texas A&M makes some real noise in the SEC, and I don't have to rely on Army and Navy to bolster my schedule. I really, really want to see Texas A&M be in a fight for that, for the SEC championship. That would help Notre Dame more than anything Army and Navy does. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, I was mentioning Army and Navy because of the fact that they are wins coming after the Northern Illinois loss.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting, man. And Notre Dame can and should and will be favored in all these games remaining. And you just got to check one win a week, baby. That's all we need. And we'll see if we could do it. And if Notre Dame's able to come back from that week 2 loss and pull this off with all these injuries, that's going to be a really good comeback. My only complaint is the need to come back. That's my statement.
Right. I want to mention something about the injuries and being able to continue rolling with the injuries. There are people who have questioned. I've heard on your call-in show people questioning, is Marcus Freeman really recruiting at a different level than Brian Kelly? And they question this like, well, look at the recruiting rankings. That's the problem. You're looking at the recruiting rankings. Recruiting rankings really truthfully don't mean a damn thing. You look at the quality of the players that you have on the field, and if anybody can't look at this team and recognize that there's a different kind of player and depth on this team compared to Brian Kelly teams, I mean, we don't have to go back very far. 2017, that was a team that was really, really good. It had a lot of talent, but they didn't have much depth. And so when the team was riddled with injuries, it fell apart.
Yeah.
2015 was a really talented team, but when they had a bunch of injuries, it fell apart.
Yeah.
You know,
Not even a
you're
bunch.
not relying on Joe Schmidt.
Not even a bunch, man. Not even a bunch. Even just a couple injuries to some of those teams, to the wrong position group would ruin everything. And it's about the drop off. The drop off would be so drastic, you couldn't even get like functional play some of those years. So I do agree with you that you're seeing some of that, and I like some of the leadership qualities and the play of the younger classes. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for giving me a call. Appreciate it. You on the road this weekend or what?
Yeah, I'm I can't even remember where I'm at right now. Oh, I'm over near Akron right now. So anyway, gonna be making my way down to Texas in the next few days. My last thought is I want to mention Jeremiah Love. There have been some people who have questioned why isn't he getting the ball more. Chess, not checkers. You know, when it comes to the more important games of the season, and more important meaning they're coming at the end of the year when you need wins more than ever, you don't want to have a bunch of game tape with how you're planning to use Jeremiah Love, you know? So now they can start using him in ways that they haven't been using him during the season and really catch teams off guard with things they can do with Jeremiah Love. Because
I would love to see that. If you pulled out some unique things for him, we haven't seen it, that'd be beautiful. I'm here for that.
We started seeing that today. You started seeing they're throwing some wrinkles out there with Jeremiah Love that you haven't seen yet this season. So anyway, he's going to be a dude, and I can't wait to see him next season. I mean, if he's this good this season as a sophomore, oh boy, I can't wait to see him next year.
Yeah, it's man.
And then off to the NFL.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting. Let's see if they could draw up some creative stuff for him the remaining games here. It's going to be great. Hey, man, safe travels the rest of your journey, man, all the way down to Texas, man. Be safe on the open roads, okay?
All right, take care now.
Have a good one. Thanks for the donation, man. Call me again this week when you're driving. 949. I got a couple 949s. California represents strong. I got all Californians on the board. I got some 949s and 310s. It's showing me California. We're in a California.
USC is burning right now.
Yeah, USC is burning, and all the California callers are calling me California love. Hey, Pat, you got to get going. You got stuff going on. I want you to give a final monologue and then peace out.
Yeah, listen, it's a great win for Notre Dame. ND fans should be happy. The offense, I think, is getting better. This is the most comfortable I've seen Riley Leonard.
Agree.
I really liked what he did. The short passing game really works for him, and it makes it easier for him to make the longer passes. I agree with the last caller with the Julian Love thing. It's, I don't mind the way they're using him. I like to see Price in there a little bit more. But I do think that it is more of a chess game right now, and trying to pick we don't need to run his legs into the ground. He's not the guy from last year. I'm blanking on his name.
Joey meant Jeremiah.
Jeremiah Love. Yeah, Jeremiah Love. But it's a football team with struggles. It's a football team that's beat up, but it is a football team that's improving week to week. And at the end of the day, that's what you want to see from your football team. So I'm comfortable with where we're at. It is, it's not perfect, but it's getting better. And I do think if this team wins out, they're going to be hosting a game at Notre Dame Stadium. And really what I'm excited about most is exactly what we've been talking about. It's the young guys stepping up.
Yep.
I was terrified about losing BMO. Some of the injuries we've had up front, we're just exposing that we got some dudes that it's not just that they can play football, but they want to play football. They want to hit people. They are ready to go. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked about this football team. I'm stoked about where we're going. I still have questions about Freeman in terms of what he's doing, but I'm not off yet. I'm still here with Freeman. And Al Golden he's I just wish he started with a better game plan. And also I think this was probably the best called game by Denbrock, at least in the second and third quarter. Fourth quarter, I don't know what was going on there. First quarter, it took a little bit to get going, but I thought Denbrock did a hell of a job in this game. He put his players in a position to succeed. And think about it, at the start of the season, we couldn't even get Leonard to make his first read. He just was taking off. He completed passes to 8 different receivers in the first 20 minutes of the football game. I mean, he was working his progressions and getting the ball around. And that was really impressive to see. He made some great calls he made some great dumps on blitz pickups. It was a good game for Notre Dame. I'm happy with where they're at. And so with that, I'm going to sign off. Everyone have a great night. Johnny, have a great show. Enjoy the rest of the Texas-Georgia game when you guys are done here. And I'll probably hear from you Monday.
Hey, Pat, it's just good to have you back, buddy. You've been gone a few weeks. It's good to have you back in the mix. The show has a different feel when you're in the mix. So we're all glad to have you back. And tell Lauren and the girls I said hi, okay?
Will do. That's what I got to go take care of now. Take care, guys.
Have a good one. See ya, Pat. Take care. Thanks for being here. All right, let's keep it moving. We're going to do our California callers. Listen, I see some of these chats, and Commander, I see you, and you're saying like, oh, wow, we beat a mid team, or they're no good, and like, what's the big deal that we won or whatever. You beat the team you played, and it wasn't that close, and you kind of won by a lot. Like, isn't that a good day? I don't understand. Like we can't replay the Northern Illinois game today. You got to be able to juggle multiple things at once. I'm never going to not be hurt and angry and not get over the Northern game. It's always in the back of my mind and my heart. However, there's nothing we could do to undo that. All you could do today is try and beat the hell out of who you played. And they're not that damn good. And you won, and it wasn't that close. And we weren't sweating out till the end and me on the edge of my seat and my hair all falling out. It's a good day for Notre Dame. It's just a good day for Notre Dame. You're saying my standard. I don't even know what that means. My standards are higher than you, John. What else would you have wanted today then that I'm not talking about? I've spent I said we're nowhere near where you want to be. Like it's a flawed team or whatever. Like this is the post-game show for the game we just played, not the last 30 years of Notre Dame football frustrations. Now, if you want to say you're comparing to the top, that's totally fair. I don't think we match up with those top teams in the land. I don't think we do this year. Maybe we run it to 11-1 and host a team and play good or whatever. I don't know. Fine. I don't think we compare to those teams either, but I'm not even talking about that right now. Can't I just have 2 hours to be glad we beat the hell out of this team? Son of a buck. Can I just give me 2 hours to just enjoy this before I go back to worrying that we're not good enough overall? Can a brother get 2 hours? Yeah, I know Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois. It's been following me around like a shadow. I hate it, but there's nothing you can do about it today. All you can do is win this game. 949, you're on the line.
Yeah, I'm just curious if after his name does it say Commander, Keyboard Warrior?
Listen, I understand what he's saying. I share a lot of these frustrations too. But in this moment, we just got done playing this game. You had to win to keep your season alive, and we won, and it wasn't particularly close. And that's a good damn day for Notre Dame. That's where I'm at.
Absolutely, it's a great day to be Irish. A great night to be Irish. And I'm about to crack open a Guinness.
Of course, you go.
I called. I'm holding off because I want to make sure I was coherent on the call, even though it's non-alcoholic.
Well, I appreciate your coherence. I also appreciate, by the way, also California caller here, California. I don't know if you're in California, but that's where the ID is coming from. And
well, I hate to disappoint you, but I got wise and I got out of California in October of 2019 when I sensed they were going to shut it down for COVID.
There you go. So you made the exodus. I'm just glad to see USC lose again. They were winning by 2 scores the last I checked, and they ended up losing. So rough seas there for your boy Lincoln out there out west.
You're the turtle.
Yep. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. They were up by 2 scores. That's an awful loss. So listen, man, I understand the bigger picture frustrations. I share some of them. This team's never going to be as good as I really wanted it to be this year, but you just keep winning. And that's what Notre Dame needs to do, and they're doing it. And I want to ask you, do you agree with what Pat said? It does feel like the team, especially offensively, is getting a little better and rounding into form. That makes me feel better about where this is all headed to, that I really do feel like Riley Leonard and that offense is starting to feel a little better about themselves. And I do see that.
You and I talked about this on Friday when I told you it was going to be a rocking chair game. It wasn't a rocking chair as early as I would have liked. But if you remember, I said, we seem to be getting better each game, and what we want to do is peak at the right time. And that's what an underdog has to do when they're playing a better team. And so while I'm real excited about next year with the guys that are hurt coming back and giving us great starters, and we're going to have some great depth. And by the way, I'm so impressed with these freshmen and sophomores. They're stepping up. And I think that says a lot about what's happening with recruiting wise. And you guys already talked about that, so I won't belabor it. But I'll say this. These young guys like Drake Bowen, et cetera, they're reminding me that like Stonebreaker and Stams, et cetera, they're mean and they're nasty. And they're going to hit you hard.
I'm telling you what, man, the young players on this team have a lot of attitude and they carry themselves the right way. I'm like that Bowen class, and then the guys younger, even some of those freshmen, like they carry themselves above their age and weight and football maturity level. And that is a really impressive thing. And I'm noticing it. These guys are doing more than just like replacement level because we need their snaps. They're playing good football. It's great to see.
It's going to be like, I can't wait. I hope it comes back. But in the 60s, when the team came out, it was like the whole stadium would whisper, "Here comes the Irish. Here come the Irish." And it just got louder and louder and worked itself into a frenzy. And these guys have that nasty type of attitude. I love it.
Yeah, it's man, it is good to see. There's no fear from those younger guys, man. They don't have like that deer in the headlights look of like, oh my gosh, I'm on the big stage now. What am I going to do? There is none of that. These young players, when they get a chance, they're flying around making plays. And it's really it's good to see, man. You're trending in about as good of a direction as you could trend for a team that is somewhat limited and really banged up. That's what I feel about it.
Absolutely. And by the way, just for an update for those that aren't watching, Texas just fumbled. Georgia's running it in. They just scored.
Oh,
so it's 6-0 with PAT coming.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, what do you make of, do you agree with us when we're talking about looking around the country that there seems to be a little more parity and that anybody could beat anybody? And there's a lot more of these games that don't look close on paper, but end up being close when they get played. Are you feeling that this year too?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's it. And we saw a little bit of it last year, except for, team Connor Stallions.
Yeah.
You saw people beating up on each other, and I think that's going to continue.
Yeah, it's and so I don't know, man. This is going to be a really, really interesting run. After it looked like this game was in hand, I started thinking about getting out of myself, thinking about Navy, and I'm still saying if you could get by Navy and get to that bye with Florida State at home coming out of it, you're looking at that 11-1 as a real thing, and it would be a hell of a comeback from what happened week 2. It'd be a great comeback.
You know what I do, John? I don't even talk about that till Monday. Saturday night.
Enjoy it.
For enjoying the week.
Good for you, man.
Sunday is figuring out where we're going to move in the polls, even though these don't matter until the committee does. And then Monday is when you start to worry about the University
Yeah.
of Navy. Thank you.
Yep. Nope. I think that's perfectly good. I think you're entitled to enjoy the evening, and you only get 12 of these. Everyone Notre Dame wins is a big deal, and I'm going to enjoy it. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for giving me a call.
No, we're coming up on 3/4 mark next week of the season being over. So enjoy it, go Irish, and God bless everybody.
Oh man, it goes by fast, doesn't it? You wait all summer. When's the season? Then it comes and it goes by in a flash. Hey, thanks a lot, man. Have a good weekend.
Yep, God bless.
Take care. What a nice guy. We got another 949. The California callers. What's going on, 949?
Well, like you were saying, it's a nice Saturday when you're not pulling your hair out during a Notre Dame game, right? We got
man.
The first drive was a little shaky for the defense, but you know what? They were lights out after. Even like what you guys have discussed all night, even with all the injuries. I mean, Al Golden and that defensive staff just produce and replace, and just that's the only side that I trust throughout the three special teams, offense and defense. You trust day in and day out. They're going to come and play. But yeah, it was cool seeing Don Schuler getting that pick six. Good for him. He's been playing great his first season.
Again, you want to talk about another young player that has to play a key role and is holding his own. There you go. There's another one.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a stellar defense next year and the year after. Unless they transfer, obviously. But now in regards to rushing yards that we gave up, I know that they mentioned that in the game. What did we give up, under 50 or something in the weeks prior? Georgia Tech had 200 plus or something. I'm guessing the quarterback was a majority of that, or a good portion of it at least. So is it? I'm not trying to be the negative Nancy, like we're been talking about, but I mean, is that just I don't know. I mean, it's still good they gave up under 100 yards rushing, but I wonder if it would have been a different game if that quarterback was.
Oh, I'm sure it would have been. I mean, the whole game would have been different. Like, he's the starter for a reason. And he's a very good, dynamic, dual threat guy. And so, I'm not going to act like, Notre Dame didn't catch a break there. But Notre Dame's got 10 or 12 guys that are out that we would have liked to have too. Like, it wasn't the quarterback, but like, those are the breaks, man. And so Notre Dame caught a break and they took advantage of it. And like you said, it's just nice to win games where I don't have to sit here on the edge of my seat with my hair falling out, sweating it out to the last minute. That's a good Saturday for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, Riley had the one bad pass.
Yep.
And he kind of said afterwards, he shouldn't have thrown it either. He said he didn't even know what he was looking at. So, he made up for it. I mean, he was playing lights out afterwards as well.
He played really well. He played really good. That offense came alive after that. For that stupid pick, they really started coming together. And you know what? You know what else was a key sequence? The key sequence was you had the what did you have? You had the muff at the end of the half for them trying to kick the field goal. Then they get the ball and you go 3 and out. And you get them to go 3 and out. Then we get the ball and go back down and score. That was a kind of the sequence to me that kind of changed the tenor of that game from close to Notre Dame in control. Them messing up that field goal and then getting them off the field after that and then going down and scoring. You can't do it any better than that. Good job.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, I think the weekly thing that I will take that just still is frustrating to watch is not having an above average passing game, because it's still an average at best passing game. You like to see it progress to those 30, 40-yard completions, or
it's frustrating. And it's just
a post route completion.
It's frustrating. It's going to be frustrating.
So that
it's just, and the way tell me if you think of it this way. Here's how I look at this. it is hard to put together like a 12 or 14 play touchdown drive all the way down the field, getting first downs, not having a holding penalty, not getting behind schedule, getting the first downs you need, going down the field and matriculating down the field in a 12, 13, 14 play drive. That is hard to do. You got to be so efficient with each of those plays in series. If you could get a chunk of 40 or 50 yards on a deep crossing pattern or post route or something, like, that's why it's such a big benefit to be able to do that, because you're not relying on 12 plays all going your way. You just need to hit on one big one and forget all those other ones in between, right?
Yeah, and then I guess I mean, I agree with you on the, like, I like those long drives though, right? Because that just shows that your team is pushing that line of scrimmage, that other team, from point A to point B,
and that you're capable of doing it. That you're capable of doing that,
and they can't do.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I agree with you on that.
I
guess you want some of the flashy too, I guess. I mean,
yes,
I think,
yeah, you're right.
If we're looking at it at like just a regular football IQ, we're winning games. They're scoring, but it's not that flashy. It's not an Ole Miss offense or what.
Yeah,
but it's enough to get the job done.
Can I ask you?
Like you said, we're winning.
Let me ask you this, and I don't know if you'll agree or not, or maybe I'm wrong, or I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't claim to be an X's and O's expert. Do you feel like that the rebuilt offensive line post Purdue, you had to rebuild in August after the Jagasaw injury, then you had to rebuild after Purdue and you lost a couple guys. Now they've been together for a few games. It isn't great, and it's nowhere near what I want it to be. But I do feel like that unit is getting a little bit better together, and there's less huge mistakes and blown assignments. And I do feel like they're doing a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. I think that first game is obviously just a big shocker. You got the atmosphere. You got, I think, potentially first-round draft picks on that defensive line that they're going up against. So you mix all those together, it's not gonna be pretty, but they did well enough to get the win for their offense.
Yep.
Yeah, they're averaging over 200 yards a game rushing. So obviously that's good, right? If we're just looking at it statistically, I mean, that's great. That's offensive line right there. That's their number, is over 200 yards rushing. That is, even like what you said, with all the mixing and matching, and I think they're gelling now. I think it's coming together, but they're really going to need to come together next week. Like what you're saying, playing with Navy and stuff. I feel like if you mess up one drive, that could be fatal for the game. With how they've been playing offensively too. They've been putting up a lot of points.
Yeah, that's for
their defense has been playing pretty good too. So now if Navy holds on to the ball a long time, now you don't know how many more drives you're going to get for the rest of the game.
Yeah. It is. Listen, man, I really want to get through this weekend and enjoy this victory and whatever, and then get into the Navy worry.
Yeah.
It is really going to be, it's going to be interesting. You just don't have a lot of margin for error, not a lot of leeway. Your young defensive players have got to pick their angles and gaps and tackle the right way. And that offense, you can't go 3 and out. You can't have turnovers, and you need to score when you get the ball.
No.
Like, they shorten the game. It's the same story it's always been. They're just better at it this year. And so you got to do what you got to do, man. But I'm excited for it, man. It's Notre Dame's doing the best they could do for what happened early in the year, and that is win all their other games, and they're doing it right now. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for the call.
No, hey, I appreciate you taking the call. I always enjoy listening and watching your YouTube videos. So, yeah, man, I'm go Irish. It's beat Navy now, right? Navy week.
There you go. And then you know what else? If you could get that win, man, I'm going to relax that bye week, because it's going to get crazy after that with Florida State coming to town and everything. It's going to be wild. So I really hope they put together a good plan, get serious about their their keys and all their discipline and everything you need to have to beat Navy and get into that bye with one loss and 11-1. You could see the light at the end of the tunnel. Enjoy the rest of the games this tonight and the NFL tomorrow. And then maybe, hey, give me a call during the week if you want to talk.
Oh, sorry. One last.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
make it really quick.
Go ahead.
You're talking about weddings during football season.
Yeah.
So like 10 years ago, my mom's best friend's daughter got married, and it happened to be during the Notre Dame Florida State game when Notre Dame went down to play at Florida State, Jameis Winston and all that.
Oh,
The
14, I believe. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So me and my brother were not mentally there at that wedding. We found the TV at the bar, and we were just watching the game the whole time. But
yeah,
I thought it was funny that you mentioned that. It's just, I hate weddings in fall.
Dude, I have 12 days of the year that I'm busy, like emotionally busy with Notre Dame. Can I just have my 12 days and you can have the other ones? Like, it's just, give me my days. Hey, thanks a lot for the call. Enjoy the rest of the football, buddy.
Yep.
Thanks,
Sean.
Have a good one. 310, you're coming up at 903 after that. Andrew Gilmore with the $100 holler. Thanks a lot, buddy. I really appreciate that. You're here almost every single day. Big win for Freeman. Win the trap game in a defensive way. Great job on special teams. Love the show, John. Thanks for taking my call. I don't even see you on the line waiting, Andrew. What are you talking about? You just mean in general? I don't even see you on the line waiting. But I really appreciate the call. And too bad Pat's still not here. Golf Torrey Pines today. That's a big deal, Andrew. It's beautiful out that way. Congratulations, buddy. I'm glad you got to play it. 310, what's going on?
What up, Johnny? How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. I'm thrilled Notre Dame won. It isn't the prettiest version of football I've ever seen. They just keep winning, and that's what I need. It's beautiful.
But listening to your callers and I ran out of takes because everybody covered everything. But it's just a great day when we should have a lot to be excited about right now. We're doing what we can. Everything's moving in the right direction, and the recruiting, like, we're building. Are we elite? Like you said, maybe we're not elite. We'll find out, but we want a seat at the table, right? Like, we could just get in and see how we fare on any given Sunday.
Yeah, because you're right. It's one step before the other step, right? Like, you got to run this 11-1 to get in the tournament, and then we see what our situation is from that point. My first priority, like you said, is grind out these wins and make that field, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, Freeman talks about every down. Forget about the play behind you. You have to just stay focused and get through here and get a seat at the table and be there. And if we're there and just have momentum, and Notre Dame's in the mix and people are talking, and you know, that out of all the years that we've had some shitty years, shitty weeks. Today's a great day. Today's a really nice day. We should just sit right here, and whatever people want to complain about, can we hold that till Monday? You just feel good. Like, we watched the Trojans lose, and they were putting. I'm the Trojan. Like, born and raised in LA, and for some reason I just really get off on watching the Trojans lose.
Oh yeah.
So, like, and maybe that's not a good thing for us, because we need to build the story. But I guess it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, it's already and they're already too far gone anyways to, I think, move the needle that much by the time we played them anyway. So what's another loss, right? Maybe they'll just be so checked out.
Right.
We could march into LA and they'll be sleepy after Thanksgiving and just want it all to be over. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. So I guess and there's a little joke, right? My two favorite teams, which everybody's probably heard, Notre Dame and whoever's playing the Trojans, right?
Yeah. I use that line. I use that line all the time with baseball. Grandpa Kennedy used to say we only root for two baseball teams, the White Sox and whoever the hell's playing the Cubs. That was always it.
So I guess my only two small takes here. One is I was really hard on Leonard, as a lot of people were, and gone are the days. I'm not hearing too much Freeman talk anymore, right? Initially, that was pretty heavy coming out of our loss.
And it should have been. That was fair. That was totally fair. I'm not going to question. Like, there was a bunch of Freeman talk. You know why? Because he lost to Northern Illinois at home after a top 5 win.
No.
Yeah, it was fair.
Fair enough. I'm there. But that's quieted down.
And I think Leonard, I think it comes down to reps, man. Like Denbrock, I was slamming my hand on the table when he chose to take that long shot down the field. I think just moving the sticks and getting it out and keeping their defense on the field and our defense off. I liked that. I just didn't like that throw was just like, there he is.
Yeah.
But everything else, like, I think the combination, I think if Denbrock, I think it's all reps right now and confidence. And I like the mix up. I like how they're just mixing it up. We just need to move the stick.
Yeah.
I understand what you just said, and I'm with you on it takes a lot. And can we win games by, because there's penalties and, to grind that out. But I think that's all we got right now with all of our injuries and everything. We need to be smarter and just move the sticks. And,
that's a good point. Yeah, that's it. It is that's a totally fair point. Listen, maybe we should have expected some of this because Riley Leonard missed camp. And so there was a delay. And then the offensive line was all beat up, and that's a problem. And then the wide receiver room still isn't where we want it. And then, oh, by the way, Denbrock's in here trying to make it all work on the fly too. Maybe I should have expected this to take half the year to really click and start taking off with Riley Leonard. Maybe that's something I should have perceived and wrote about and yelled about and talked about. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a hard one to predict, but it's happening, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, it is happening in front of us. And as long as we just just got to knock these wins down and have a seat at the table again.
That's it.
And
yeah,
it's good, doesn't it? Like we're all right now. We're all right. You don't have a whole lot to yell about. Your blood pressure is
it's great
than usual, probably.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. You have one next to your table. You have a machine. You check it off.
You know what I want to get, dude? I have looked into this. There is a digital machine, like a digital app or something I think I could get that measures my heart rate or something on the screen. That's what I really want to get, is that technology.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So when I start
could just see you in real time.
Exactly.
We're just watching your blood pressure.
And there's like and it's a big dial, and it's like into the red, and it's like, in the danger zone, and like the needle's off the charts, and then everybody's gonna know that John's about to stroke out on the air. We get into the red, and it's like an engine that's gonna overheat, and it's that needle's in the red. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, and then you're wondering why you have no callers because they care about you. Everybody's like, shit, he's got to live.
Yeah. So I'm looking into how I could get that because I think it'd be golden. Did I lose you? I don't know where you went, man. I lost you. I don't mean to hang up on you. I was having fun with that conversation. I lost you. You totally cut out and cut off. Look at Rick. 215, you're coming up. I'm sorry about that, 310. I really enjoyed that call. I didn't mean to cut you off like that. Thank you for the call. You cut out and then you disappeared. California style. I'm blaming California. Here, I'll come right back to you, and then we'll do 215, and then I'll start writing my articles. Rick with the $50 holler. This is our resident Texas A&M Aggie. Congrats to the Irish. Keep winning. I want a rematch. Love the show's honesty and the Catholics. Beat LSU. Rick, we're all Aggie fans. I'll tell you that right now. So we are happy to see you guys keep winning. I want to see you compete for the SEC championship. I'm glad we got you when we did week 1 and got the win. And now you guys are playing better football, but we're fully behind the Aggies. And Rick, I'll say it every week and I'll keep saying it. It means the world to me that you found this show leading into our matchup with your team and you're still here. Means the world to me. 310, let's get back into it and wrap it up. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I got you. Yeah, you're back.
Sorry. By the way, I'm in the Dominican Republic on vacation. I was on the beach and I was able to get this bar, put the Irish game up on a big screen.
Dude, good for you. Good for you, man. The only problem is this is long distance. You're going to get charged like $1,000 for this phone call. I hope you know that.
Yeah, I'm good with it as long as we won.
Exactly. Dude, you need to go have yourself, you need to tie one on the tiki bar on the beach, buddy. You could have yourself a good night.
That's been happening for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue now.
Dude, I love it.
But here's my last take, and I'll let you get to the other ones. But you know, the difference between, and I said this last time, many differences between Freeman and Kelly, but I love the fake punt. I love the fake field goal. I love the fact that he kept the gas on, and I think style points are going to matter, and I think they always matter, and we never used to play that. Kelly never used to do that. He would just like sit back, or at least that's what I felt. Do you have that opinion as well? Do you think that's what used to happen? And are you seeing that change?
Yeah, a little bit. I agree with that.
I think that's important, man. Like, I think I would have rather us scored a touchdown at the end of that game and held them to nothing. It would have been 34-7. That would have looked better. And I think that we just need to think like that. I know it's not that important, but still, like, I like the swagger. I think the kids buy into it. I think they have fun. When we got that first down on the fake field goal, the kids were hyped on the sideline. They were hyped. They were like, let's go.
Yep.
You know? And I'm just happy, man. I'm okay. Like, if we get into the playoffs and as long as we don't get blown out like the Alabama.
Dude, that was the realest. Dude, that was the realest shit when you just said, I'm okay. Like, dude, I feel that. Like, I know exactly what you mean by that. Like, in your Notre Dame soul and all the different stress points in your Notre Dame life, for you to just be like, you know what, man? Like, we're okay. Like, I'm just okay. Like, I feel that, dude. I understand everything of what you mean by that. I totally felt that deep, man. I felt that deep.
Yeah, it's like a poor kid being in like an average situation. You're like, this is good. This is actually a good feeling right now.
Yeah.
We won. We're just everything is going in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know, yes, we can criticize so many things and the X's and the O's and what are we doing and why did we do it? We'll always do that shit. Right?
Yeah.
All of us will always do that. But it's all right now. We should all sleep well tonight. The kids are playing hard. They're playing for their coach.
Yep.
They're getting better.
The depth in the younger guys. The depth in the younger guys are doing a good job. That's a big piece of this. The offense in Riley Leonard seems to be getting a little more comfortable. These are all things that make me feel like this 11-1 is in the ballpark.
Yeah, it's important, man. And one thing I want to tell you, when I was coaching my son in Pop Warner football, and I had the pleasure of coaching with Drew Gissinger, who was under center for Fouts for 5 years for the Chargers. And I was just Notre Dame every week, and we were just getting our teeth kicked in, or just average fucking, seasons. And I don't understand the recruiting. I don't understand how we're not building. We're an institution. It's Notre Dame. And he said, you know what, Dan, these kids are watching Oregon and all these flashy uniforms, and they're watching the SEC. They don't think of Notre Dame like we do, like we do from the 80s and 70s. And like, it's just a different thing. But I think that's shifting right now. And especially now where people can draw from the portal, this is a time to go. I feel that these next few years, if we're not in the mix, I think we're going to see like a thinning out of that middle ground, and maybe we won't, I don't know. And maybe my theory's off, but I think it's really important that as these kids are coming out of high school, that Notre Dame is a strong consideration. Yeah. And I think Freeman is a big part of that right now. And I think the momentum is really important. Like, as these kids flip and all this good news, I mean, the injury news just is like dagger through my heart. To wake up to Morrison, I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I know.
It's just so torturous sometimes to be a fan of Notre Dame, but it's like, what, you got to be like another one, but there's a lot to be positive about right now. And so we should all just raise a glass and 1 week at a time, get through Navy, bye. And then
Florida beat the hell out of that dead horse that is Florida State. And then the actual dead horse of the Trojans.
Yeah, I mean, to beat Florida State and know that a bunch of people from Florida, those fans are cursing us, and it can feel good. Let's ride this season out 1 week at a time, not get ahead of ourselves. But there's more to be positive about. There's more, to be thankful
I'm
for.
with you. I'm with you,
than
man.
not.
I'm with
know?
you. And it's a good week to be a Notre Dame fan. You won a game. It wasn't that close. That's a good day. And buddy, I want you to enjoy your vacation. Tie one on at the Tiki Bar here. Be safe, but have fun on vacation and call me when you get back.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one. I love that. Dude, what a good guy calling me from vacation. 512, what do you want to do? What's going on, 512? Apparently not. 215, make it come alive. Might be the last call of the day, so Johnny can write some articles. What's going on, 215?
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm enjoying a Notre Dame victory. That's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to not get too far ahead of myself and worry about Navy yet. I got all week to do that, and I'm just trying to enjoy the win, man.
I'll tell you what. We've talked about this before. I've watched, some great Notre Dame football. I've watched a lot of bad Notre Dame football. So I'm not like always a rose-colored glasses guy, but I take the same approach that you're taking, John. And that is, let's just enjoy this. Take this for what it is right now. We're depleted. We got so many people. I hate to make the excuse with injuries, but we got so many people that were down.
Yep.
And to see these young dogs
Yes.
running the way that,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Especially defensively. You see the way they attack.
Yep.
I always look at the defense. Of course, you want the offense to be better, but just be confident passing. We know he is what he is. But run the ball, physical defense, that gives you a chance in every game. And let's just see if we can build some momentum. And it's a wacky year in college football.
It
You know what I
is.
mean?
It is. And listen, man, they're fighting. And that's the number one thing you ask for is they're fighting. The roster's not ideal. The injuries are brutal. This team does have they do have weaknesses, whatever. It's not a finished product by any means. This team is fighting. Certain parts of it,
Yeah.
I do see growth week to week. That's the other thing that gives me a little confidence is I don't feel stagnation. I do feel like that offense is getting a little more comfortable and a little more effective week in, week out overall. There are reasons here to feel good about where this is going a little bit while acknowledging it's still a flawed team with a beat up roster. I'm always balancing those two realities.
Absolutely, John. And you know something? I can't say this enough how impressed I was. And believe me, I'm cynical. You and I both are like a lot of fans. We can be cynical.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the game, I said, holy shit, not this stupid stuff.
Yeah,
again.
I know. Here we go again. Dude, every Notre Dame fan in America cleared their day, didn't go with the wife and the kids to the pumpkin patch to watch this game. You open a beer and then right away we're down 7-0. You're like, here we go again. This is what I'm doing with my life.
Exactly.
But we all do it, and we've all been doing it for decades, and it's never going to change.
Exactly. But John, the way I saw like players like Burnham Villa Masus, I can't pronounce his name. The other kid, Drake Bowen.
Yeah.
I mean, we really have some studs, and I'm telling you, that's a great I'm saying great with a W. That's a great way to sell these recruits that are on board for next year, along with future recruits.
Yeah.
The running backs look sensational. I told you before, Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price has an extra gear too. He's a stud.
Those guys are so great. They're a
right
joy to
there.
watch. Those guys are a joy to watch. And every time they get the
Yes.
ball, you're just waiting for something good to happen. And they usually, if there's any blocking or space at all, they always get more than you think the play should allow them to get. And I love seeing it.
Exactly.
I love seeing it.
Exactly. And John, I love physical football. I love the physical style that they play. Don't get me wrong. I don't know what the hell was going on in that fourth quarter. That was ugly to watch. But and of course I didn't want them to get that other score at the end.
Yeah.
But for them to still win that way, any one of us would have taken it. It's not settling. I know a lot of people say we're settling, but no. If anybody would have told us we would take that score before the game, a lot of us would say we'll take that score. So I don't think today's a good day for some of the fans to bitch about it. I want a title as much as anyone. Shit, I mean, I was 15 the last time they won. We all want a title, but we got to start taking the steps in the right direction.
Like you're right. You're right though. Like,
Right?
how do you balance the overall goal as championships or whatever with the understanding of the position we're in right now? which is limited roster,
Absolutely.
injuries. Like, that's the tough part is overall, yeah, championship. I don't know if that's in the cards this year. I have my doubts. But you got to deal with the situation we're in. And the situation we're in is week to week, 6 games, now 5 game playoff elimination battles where you just need to win these games and you can't be that picky about much else. And I'll tell you, since week 2, the team's done it.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you what else, John. I actually like the fact that maybe he's ranked, because maybe that'll, make me, maybe hopefully we'll sleepwalk a little. We won't sleepwalk like we sometimes do in the beginning of these games. Face a ranked team. We seem to be better against the ranked team. So maybe it's better that they're both ranked.
Yeah.
I know, look, they have no scholarship athletes, and they're always going to be dangerous because of the fact that, look, once you start smacking them around and smacking that quarterback, and the way these dogs like to attack on defense,
yep.
I really was impressed with how impressed were you with that rush defense? We held them well under their average today.
Yes.
With them running the ball.
Yep. I'm telling you, man, they're fighting. It's just, they're not going to look like any of us dreamed of them looking, after we beat A&M or leading into the season, and you picture the high end of this team. They're just not going to look like we want to look. But you still got to win these games. Like Freeman's got to save the year. You got to plant your flag in the new playoff. Let everybody know you're going to be a part of it. Like, you can't just fold it all up because you lost in week 2. Like, and you have all these injuries. That's not an excuse to go 9-3 just because you have injuries. Like, you got to fight through it, and they're doing it. And some of the young guys and the depth guys are stepping up, and it's trending in as good of a direction as it can, given all the injuries and what's happened in week 2. That's what I'm saying. And I'm sticking to it, damn it.
I agree. And you know what, John? I was at the Florida State game in 2018. I don't know if you were there. You remember how damn cold it was?
Mm-hmm.
When they played them in 2018, we smacked them around. Florida State wanted no parts of us.
Yep.
They got off that bus. I must have had like 30 beers. We were at tailgate.
So you were warm. You were warm. The cold weather didn't bother you. You were warm. You didn't feel nothing.
Oh, my God. God, I'm telling you, I don't care if Florida State is 1-20. I still am pissed at them for that phantom clip call when we had, who was it, Crab Legs, the quarterback. You remember that? Remember who was the quarterback? Jameis Winston. When we lost him in 2014. I'm still pissed over that loss.
Yep.
So I can't beat that school by enough.
Yes, I'm right there with you. I am right there with you, and that's a long-standing beef, and they are horrible. I mean, they are 1-6, and they are a bad team, and they are down, and we want to put them out, and everything else. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for giving me a call. I really appreciate it.
No, it was great talking to you as always, and I'll definitely tune in again next week. Great show. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for the call. Thanks for being here, and give me a call anytime. I appreciate it. Here's what we'll do. We're going to do one more call, and then we're going to get to the article writing the rest of the night, and it's going to be the famous morning caller, Tom Frawley. What's going on, Tom? Welcome to the show.
Hey, listen, I just thanks for squeezing me in.
Oh, sure,
You know
Tom.
what I want, John?
What's that?
All this negativity. I put it away for. I want everybody to put it away. You know what I want out of this season? I want what Lou Holtz said in that locker room before they took the field against Michigan in his first game. They talk about respect. You talk about respecting the country.
Yep.
Let me see you disrespect me now when I'm nose to nose. That's what I want this team to be.
Yep.
And then once they keep building and building, just like this defense did, you got young kids out there making textbook tackles like Jaden Osbury and Drake Bowen. They're teaching the upperclassmen how to hit people. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
These are great things on which to build.
Yeah.
And that's how you build championship teams.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this team. I can't tell you. Yeah. You know what? They got some cleaning up to do. But I'll tell you what, for that period in the second quarter, they were clicking on all cylinders on offense.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Tom,
let it happen.
Listen, man, I know we're not a perfect team, and I know we lost a dumb game you can't lose, and I know we're banged up, and I know the passing game doesn't look like anybody wanted or whatever. I understand all that, but you got to operate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm trying to operate in the circumstances that we're in now. And it is back against the wall. It's back against the wall. Not ideal roster, problems with the injuries and everything. And you just got to find ways to win. And the team keeps doing it. And damn it, that's a good thing. I want to enjoy it. Let me enjoy it for a day or two before I start worrying about the next problem.
And you know what? I take my hat off to you for putting up with a lot of the comments, especially from. I'm not going to mention who they are, but we know who the negative Nellies are.
I know.
And they keep breaking your chops, and it's the what if scenarios. Well, if Notre Dame plays LSU in the playoff, and if Notre Dame plays Alabama in the playoff, and this. Well, if the dog didn't stop to take a shit, he would have caught the rabbit. What's your point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let us enjoy this victory, for God's sake.
Yep.
That's all I got for you, brother.
Tom, you know what I think about, man? I just think about how miserable we all were after Northern. And I think about how that carried, right. And I think about how it ruined all of our lives, ruined our weekends, made us hate football. It turned us off from the thing we loved the most. And it just made me realize like how miserable it is when we lose. And it's just like, let's have a night here. We won. And it wasn't like last second. We're lucky to have the win. We beat the hell out of somebody on a road trip. It's okay to feel good about that and acknowledge that like it's not a perfect program or team, but to be happy about this. Geez.
Well, one takeaway from the game today, Georgia Tech came out and they were physical from the get-go, and you could see it. And then there was the moment in the second quarter when Notre Dame I said, not tonight, not today, fellas.
Yeah.
And you could see, they hung in there, but after a while, when they start to out-physical them, that's what the good teams do.
Yeah.
So you know what? They'll put it together. I'm very happy.
Tom,
it was a joy to watch that.
I got to ask you for a favor this upcoming week, buddy.
Yeah.
I know you and all of your decades of Chicago-style Notre Dame-iness, and I know all of your history, and I know all of this about you and your relationship with Notre Dame and all of this. Think about it and give me a call during the week about how we should be framing this Notre Dame Navy battle and what Notre Dame has on the line and all the unique. I want you to call in and go over all the unique things Notre Dame's got to keep in mind and think about to be able to take down this Navy team. I know you've had a lot of Navy battles under your belt, and I want you to come strong this week on that morning show and set the record straight. I know you got a bullet point list full of things you got to do to beat Navy, and I want you to teach the class, baby, this week coming up.
All right. Well, listen, as a matter of fact, when I hang up, I'm going to finish I'm going to finish watching the Georgia-Texas game, and then I'm going to flip over and I'm going to watch the last two Navy games.
There you go.
I'm going to start breaking Navy down. We'll figure it out.
There you go.
We're going to be okay.
I love it. Hey, Tom, pour yourself a couple cold ones here. Enjoy the rest of the football. Enjoy the NFL tomorrow, and then we will worry about Navy next week, and you'll give the class a lesson on how to break down the Navy offense.
Amen, brother. We'll talk to you later. Have a good night, everybody. God bless. Go
take care, Tom. Oh, I love Tom, man. He's so genuine. He loves Notre Dame so much. Dude, Mark, he is the oldest G around, and it's this classic, it's the classic Chicago-style Notre Dame connect. Like, he is the most Chicago-y Notre Dame guy, old school guy. Like, I just picture him in these old mahogany bars in the 70s, like all smoky Notre Dame stuff. Like, Tom is just what I picture of just that old school Chicago tough Notre Dame blue collar guy. And he loves Notre Dame so much. I love him for it. It's been a joy getting to know him the last year or so. All right, you guys, that's going to be it. We ran 2:15. Pretty good call log. Sometimes it's tough when you have all these good games on TV. People are watching. Sometimes the numbers don't always translate here because people are watching that or whatever. But I really appreciate it. We had a full bank of calls today. Donations were really good. The chat was really good. It was really a joy to have Pat back in the fold. It's been a few weeks. It was really nice to have him in here. Changes kind of the dynamic when Pat's in here going at it with everybody. So really good day for Notre Dame, you guys. Again, we'll end it the way I started it. Flawed team, very banged up team, doing the best they can, and that is winning the rest of these games. That's all you could do, man. And it isn't going to be perfect, and it ain't going to look as good as I want, as clean as I want. You just need to keep winning, and I'm going to celebrate it. So I'm going to get off here, record a video for you guys to have in the morning, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the night writing a bunch of articles for Sports Illustrated. So check them out. Thanks, you guys. Really, really great show. Thanks for being here.